All right, Whole Squad Sports. Hope everyone's having a solid week. We are here for our Senior Bowl coverage, previewing running backs and tight ends. Dalton, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Got cold here again quick, but besides that, can't complain.
Yeah, it's cold here quick. It's been like 12 degrees with the wind chill or whatever. So, yeah, I hope everyone's staying warm. And hopefully, we have winter's finally coming down. It hasn't been a bad winter. So, I mean, it's just been really up and down. It's been annoying.
Yeah, it's always
You
like
just
that
don't
in
know
the
what it's going to be.
though.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's pretty annoying, but it's all right. We just got to roll with it, and we got ball to talk about because we got to pretty much, count our days. We got to appreciate all the ball we can get. Only got so much here. So before we get into our Senior Bowl coverage, you can join us here right back Friday at noon, and we are going to be previewing the national championship, folks. Here it is. We are finally down to our last two teams: Miami Hurricanes or the Indiana freaking Hoosiers. They're trying to complete a perfect season, which not a lot of people I think are talk about. I think it's pretty obvious, but pretty much been the best team in college football. Arguably them in Ohio State for most of the season, but wire to wire, so far Indiana's been dominating. I can't wait to preview it. It's going to be pretty much fireworks, ain't it, Dalton?
I expect a great game. I don't know if I do or not. I hope it's a great game. Let's say that. Indiana's just been firing on all cylinders lately, but Miami's defense has too. So hope that it might be a low scoring rock fight. If anything, I can see that if it's a close game. If Indiana scores a lot, though, I think they win by a lot.
I think it's going to be a close game no matter what. I really do. I think it's going to be a really close game. I can't wait to preview it, man. But we will have you covered. Just join us Monday. We'll get our picks and we will preview with Will Thomas our next position group. But let's go ahead and get into it, Dalton. We got a lot to cover here just for the Senior Bowl. Every position we are going to cover from top to bottom before we head down to Mobile. And like I said, you can catch us every Monday and Wednesday like normal until we head down to Mobile. The roster's finally finalized. The actual teams were announced today, Dalton, the American and national teams. So that's kind of helps us out with matchups, helps us out with, who's going to who with weapons wise, and all that good stuff. So been pretty excited, man. But let's go ahead and get to, the tight end group. I think we're going to have some sleepers. Overall, what do you think about this tight end group? Go ahead and show it on the screen. What are you overall thinking right now?
The first thing that really I think jumps off the page is none of these guys are really household names. I don't think. Like,
Yeah.
the casual fan, you'd be like, yeah, Josh Cuevas about to go off. They'd be like, who's that? So, but I don't think
Yes.
that means these guys aren't talented. I think a lot of these guys just didn't have the offense to really show themselves this year. Like Gillenborg. Merrick just has so many weapons around him. Same with Cuevas. Sam Rouse, Villari, both in bad situations. Catcher also had a lot of other weapons around him. So, most of these guys had reasons why they didn't produce, and if they did, they get the most. They did the most of their opportunities, and I'm excited to watch these guys because they all got things to show this week and prove. Because, like I said, a lot of these guys weren't featured in their offense.
Yeah, like all this list. I know we're not going to be able to get to see Michael Trigg from Baylor. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen. Maybe he adds on again late. But with this group, it looks like we're not going to see any more people drop out. Which means we won't see guys more than likely have 2 or 3 days of practice and not play in the game. Just off, like you said, these guys not being household names as of yet, which pretty much I think guarantees us that they're going to finish out the week and play in the game, which is pretty great to see. We want to see as many people out there as we can. Yes, it's not a loaded tight end group as we thought, but I don't think we thought the tight end group was going to be that loaded going into last year, right? I didn't think Bartholomew was going to have that, is going to add to the pack, right? Or I didn't know. I was have my skepticism on Mason Taylor still at this time last year.
Oh yeah, I agree. Nobody knew if Fannin was going to produce like that week. He didn't face the best competition at Bowling Green, so it could have been just a he was the only mouth to feed. But
Right.
no, he showed out too. I didn't think Ferguson was that good either, and he balled out last year. So a lot of guys surprised me last year, and yeah, I just expect the same thing this year for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a heck of a draft class here as it pans out. And the best thing about the Senior Bowl, the draft starts there, and we're going to really see people separate themselves, make a name for themselves, move up from whatever round up into a top round to a first day, second day. Guys that are going to go undrafted. Finally get a roster, get on a roster. Going into camp. And then we see guys move themselves up to a first round status like we seen last year. I mean, we seen Josh Connerly do it. We seen Mike Green do it last year. Mike Green didn't even play in the game. Then we had, I think, Sorrell. I don't know if Sorrell played. Did he play in a game? I think he did. But then we had a couple people drop out, man, that were just pretty much surefires. And then we added, we can go ahead and talk about it now. Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker from Texas Tech, and then Akeem Mesidor is added from
Mm-hmm.
Miami. So what did you think about those two pieces being added late?
You can't be mad about those. I mean, that just
No.
brings in two more studs to the game. So I mean,
Studs.
the more the merrier, for real.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot wait to go over our edge rushers were already pretty, are pretty thick, but a couple of them have dropped out. So
Yeah,
added Mesidor, who's been a household name from pretty much all season. Him and Ruben Bain, 1-2 punch their defensive end, and we get him. It's going to be awesome. And then we get Jacob Rodriguez, the best linebacker in football. I think him and Arvell Reese, right? I mean, I don't think too many people have Jake Rodriguez under Arvell Reese at the end of the season.
I mean, not in college, but nobody has him going first round, so it's a big week for him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, you made your name as a college guy, but you have to turn around and start right back at the bottom. We see that happen with a lot of guys. We usually see it happen at quarterback. Some guys that are, have to, adjust their game. You could talk about the Tim Tebow's out there, like guys who have to all themselves, on top of the college world, and then and pretty much it looks like a day's notice, and you turn around and by the nighttime it looks like he's an underdog and he's not an NFL guy. So you're having to prove yourself all over again, which they're going to have to do. We'll see a lot of guys do that. So let's go ahead and get into some guys we want to highlight though. We can do ahead and do tight ends, and then we can just go ahead and look at the running back list as well. I guess we can
Mm-hmm.
just look at the running backs list as well because it's only one graphic.
Either
No, I
way,
want to look at this lopsided kind of with the
that's what
American and national team.
I was thinking that earlier too. I thought the national team had a lot more. I mean, they got more players, and I think they're more talented too.
Yep. Yeah. What this tells me with the American team that they pretty much said Jam Miller, Rahsul Faison, Jamari Taylor, Mike Washington, we're guaranteeing you a lot of carries. I mean, right? That's the only thing that we can say. These guys are going to get a lot of carries as opposed, you have two extra backs. I know you might have a guy you might look at as a receiver, but I knew these first three backs on the American, Faison, Miller, and Taylor. Those are guys, if solid backs, you know those guys on one side. So, what do you think about Mike Washington though? Mike Washington's a pretty much a beast, 6'2",
Man,
223
I,
pounds
as I said, I
unit.
didn't realize he was that big. I knew he was a
Yeah,
big back. I mean, he was the best thing about Arkansas this year, for sure. If you watched him play, I mean, he was the only thing that really kept the engine moving. And I didn't realize he was that big though. It's impressive size. I'm
I
excited to see
know.
him. I'm excited to see him and how he can catch passes out the backfield at that size because you have to be able to do that nowadays.
I agree. I think, yeah, you got to be one. You got to be a Swiss Army knife, man. You can't be one dimensional anymore. And if you're going to be one dimensional, then you pretty much know you're going to have a short lease, short life, and your job security. You better be ready to move every year for a
You
lot
better
of
be
those backs.
you better be good at pass blocking.
Yeah, exactly. And pass blocking,
If
which
you can't catch
less.
passes, you got to be the best pass blocking back. Yeah,
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good. Yeah,
because I
exactly. A
mean, a
lot
lot
of
of people
people.
make money off that in the league for sure.
Hell yeah! If you can add an extra offensive lineman, especially with that means we can get more tight ends in space. That means we can run a two tight end set and have both of our guys going out for passes. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're chipping, and then it opens up a lot of things for an offensive coordinator standpoint, especially from an East and West standpoint, which we see more and more teams do these days. So let's talk about the running backs we want to look at here. So me and Dalton each got a few. The few I'm looking at here, man, I'm look like we just said, Mike Washington, Kaytron Allen from Penn State, and Seth McGowan from Kentucky. These are three guys I think are going to have a lot to prove this week and are going to have a big week. Like I said, Mike Washington, I like the big backs. I like the little backs too. I like, Tariq Cohen was a fun guy to watch. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Danny
But
Woodhead.
Kaytron Allen, yeah, exactly, and Danny Woodhead. But Kaytron Allen's a guy, at 210 carries, 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6.2 yards a carry. So I think the only questions what's the big question here? Can he just keep on doing it, right?
I mean, he's never had to carry the backfield either. Singleton's on the same team as him in this game, so they've
Right,
always had a
right.
50-50 share. But we ain't gonna find that out this week either. So I mean, we ain't gonna answer his big question until he's actually in the league.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with all of these teams here, I mean, their quarterback play was not that great this year. I mean, it's just not that great. Next year, I think Arkansas is going to have some solid, cats. Same thing with Kentucky, I think. But this is this year, and when you have that, you know, a quarterback that's not that versatile or you don't have a high passing game, it's pretty predictable in a run game, and you can't really be that versatile. That's why I brought Seth McGowan up here, 6'1", 215. He 4.4 yards a carry, so shout out to him. But they get 12 touchdowns, so
Yeah, he
yeah,
was impressive.
yeah, Seth, 12 touchdowns. If you can get in the end zone, there's always going to be a spot for you in the league, especially when you're not afraid to put your head down in short yardage situations. And then let's bring up Mike Washington yet again. 1,000 yards here, 1,070 yards, 167 carries, 8 touchdowns, 6.4 yards a carry. So I think these three guys, you may not know them now, like a Mike Washington, a Seth McGowan, probably know Kaytron Allen. Maybe not though, because Penn State, not a lot of people watch Penn State this year. So these three guys you probably want to get to familiar with. So I'm really excited about those guys. And Dalton, let's go ahead and take a look at your list because you got some solid ones as well. Now, any guys outside of your list that maybe was really close on making your list as I get it pulled up here?
Oh yeah, Seth was. I almost had Seth too, man. I mean, only 1 year in the SEC, came from Mexico State. I want to see how he translates this week because I mean, he wasn't a bell cow either. They had Dowdell in the backfield. They had to split carries too, so I want to see how he translates this week. But the big question I think is Faison, man. I mean, he had 1,000 yards 2 years ago at Utah State. This year he only had 470. We only had 96
Yeah,
carries, and averaged 4.9 yards per carry. But the reason I'm excited to see him is how's he going to look behind a good old line? His old line was terrible
right.
this year. Everybody knows that at South
Yeah.
Carolina. So the fact he still put up 4.9 yards per carry, I think he could be a really underrated back. Like 4.9 yards per carry in that offense, man, that's impressive because they could not block anybody. So I
Oh
think,
no,
yeah,
no, they couldn't block nothing. And their court, Beamer didn't do him any favors either. Their offensive scheme wasn't that great. It was the perfect storm with South Carolina, and I don't think that many people talk about it. The amount of talent they have, you can go with Dylan Stewart and Nick Harbor and Norris Sellers and Rahsul Faison, another guys. So I mean, they have talent. It's a horrible year for South Carolina. I was really scared of that going in, and when you have a bad offensive line, it's not just your passing game that's going to suffer. Your run game's also going to suffer, if not more, because it's just harder to if it's harder to do anyway. It's hard to run block all game. It's harder to pass block all game. Why you see balanced teams win, and they're not as predictable. And if you can run the ball, eventually the defense is going to break. It's just football. It's how it goes. But I like the Jamari Taylor and the Adam Randall. Fill the people on these two guys as well, and what they should be looking out for.
I mean, Taylor had a good year, right? Over 1,000 yards, 14 rushing touchdowns. He had 43 catches. But when I watched him play, I was like, nothing sticks out about him. I want to see what his best skill is. Like,
Yeah.
what's his number one skill he brings to the league? What's his elite skill? Because I've seen he had a lot of good ones, but nothing really jumped off the page. Like, yeah, he had 43 catches. We only averaged 5.9 yards per catch. I mean, a lot of those are check downs. I get it, but you see most backs get 8 or 9. So you're not making people miss in space. He's just consistent. But I just want to see him have a really good skill to hang his hat on. And then Adam Randall, man, he's only played running back for 1 year. This year was his
Hmm.
first year playing running back. He moved over from receiver, and I mean 6'2", 230 back. So physical, he can run over damn near anybody, and obviously he's one of the best receivers in the backfield coming out of this class. I think he's a guy that he's not going to go too high. I don't think because he's raw, but I think he's a guy that could end up being a starter in the league just because of how raw he is and his ceiling and how much they pass out the backfield nowadays. He could be another receiver. So I'm really excited to see him, especially in the pass pro.
Yeah, exactly. And if you can get big bodies, I mean, I'm all about for the big bodies in the backs. I mean, I love a back that can be like versatile, like you said. Now, I want to have a big question for you because it's hard to really get a judgment on backs in this all-star type setting. When we're in there, we're in uppers. When we're not going to the ground a lot in practice, it's where we're kind of going 75% at most sometimes. What do you look for in a running back to kind of jump off the charts and jump out of the film when we're not really playing, 11 on 11 scrimmage because we're not trying to get hurt. We're trying to make it to the game. What are you really looking for from a scouting standpoint?
Yeah, right. Without contact, obviously you can't see
Yeah.
physicality and stuff, but contact you can see like vision for sure. You can still see vision. It really jumps
Right.
out. Even that's the biggest thing in non-contact is division, and that's huge in football, especially Le'Veon Bell is a huge example. Back in the day, he would wait 3 or 4 seconds behind the line before he would take off. There ain't been many backs like that, but just one example. Vision is definitely the biggest thing, and then obviously the pass game, route running, stuff like that, and then just knowing where to be. Like obviously,
Yes,
the biggest thing is you want a back that's physical and can break tackles. You ain't gonna get that, but you want to see even you can do everything else a back can do.
I agree. I agree. Like you said, knowing where to be and being able to pick up an offense really quick because they're going to be getting taught NFL offense by NFL coaches for the first time. A bunch of college coaches have coached in the league, so they have NFL knowledge. But this is a real NFL 2025 offense they're going to be able to run, and the coaches want to see them adapt to that, want to pick up something quick. And that's a good point. Just knowing where to be is such a big thing. And that's this thing with O line as well, because they had guys, switching out everywhere. I didn't see too many guys like obviously the tackles, the big tackles, but besides a couple of the tackles, they all played center guard and both guards last year. So same
Mm-hmm.
thing with all these positions. They're going to throw them everywhere to see where they look good at because all these guys are coming from different systems, and that's why you see so many guys, succeed in different systems when they get a new coach or go to a different school because a lot of these they're just tailored to a certain system, even if it comes from a trainer or a coach. So I think, really curious to see if guys being able to absorb the playbook and know where to be. So it's a good point by you. So let's take another look at tight ends. So let's look at the tight ends, and we'll get into our players that we need to watch here. Like we said, these guys aren't household names as of yet, but we do have some big bodies. I think Senior Bowl has been pretty much made a point so far, at least with running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers, what we've covered so far, that they like size and they want to get big bodies out there. I mean, am I crazy? Because we're seeing some 6'7" guys, some 6'6", 6'5". I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just average these days, but some big boys out there.
They are big. I mean, not the weight though. It's not crazy. There's only one guy 260 plus. He's only
Yeah,
260 right
yeah,
on. So I mean, the weight's not crazy. Yeah, they're all pretty tall. But I think that's traditional for tight ends. You don't really want a 6 foot tight end.
exactly. But I have seen. I mean, we've seen some 6'3s out there every now and then.
Yeah, sure.
We'll
There's
see
only
a
one of
6'3"
them.
tight
Out
end.
of two of them. Yeah, there's only two of them though. Yeah, I mean 6'7's crazy. 6'7", 240. I'm interested to see Tanner. I almost had him on my list.
Yeah, and I can't wait. Yeah, we'll bring up our list here in a second. Last thing before we do that, I'm glad that we have our heights and weights because another great thing about the Senior Bowl, that's the first thing they do once they get down there. They get their official height and weight. That people say the draft starts in Mobile. That's one of the many reasons why they say that because that's a big thing about the combine. They want to get your official height and weight. There's a reason why they say program weight, program height. Your schools might bump it up a little bit. Recruiting services might bump it up a little. Trust me, trust me. I used to tell him I was 285, 280 way before I was 280. So I mean, it's just name of the game. It's always been that way. So, and a lot of these guys that are going to be in here, they're not going to be at the combine to get their official weights in. So they might have to wait. Why wait till the pro day, which is in what, April?
Yeah, usually.
So why not wait till let's get them in the last week of January as opposed to April. So I love that guys just wanting to get their official stuff in before they hit the combine, hit the pro days, and get ready. I know we talked about Trinidad Chambliss. And no side note before we get our list pulled up. What's the chances we've seen Jacob Rodriguez and Akeem Mesidor? I mean, you talk about household names. What are the odds we see Trinidad Chambliss get added late here to the Senior Bowl roster?
I don't
What do you
know.
think?
There's 6 quarterbacks already. Who just got added? Because there was 5.
So let's go ahead and do it here. So,
Who was the most recent guy added? Because last time we looked, it was 5 quarterbacks. We were like, who are they going to add?
well, they added Nussmeier.
Oh, that's who it was. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so we got Sawyer Robertson, Diego Pavia, Taylor Green, Luke Altmaier, Cole Payton, and Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's
it's
who we're
the
looking at
numbers.
at
I
quarterback.
think they went 7.
I think I do, just because it's Chambliss.
I mean, I would Chambliss too. It'd be great. Like, I
No,
just
I
don't see
understand
that.
that. Yeah, I understand. It's hard to even play 3 quarterbacks in a game. It's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
really hard to do that. It's hard.
all right. If you only get one quarter apiece, that could be one drive.
I mean, there should be like an agreement, just a practice agreement or something.
They
like
should
just
just
come and
take.
practice.
They should just take one of them out.
I
Yeah,
I would Taylor Green.
yeah.
I think
Take
everyone wants to get a or Luke Altmaier. Flip a
or
coin.
no. Take one of them two out. I don't. I want to see Nussmeier if he could bounce back. I want to see him throw live.
At least Taylor Green's more athletic than Luke Altmaier.
I guess I want to see Pavia just for the interviews.
Oh well, yeah, Pavia is going to be. He might roll up with the paparazzi already, like his own.
Say we can probably talk to anybody else we want. Everybody is going to talk to him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. They were talking like, are y'all gonna get talked to so and so, so and so? I'm like, we're there for so long, and we're you can talk to anybody you want to, like
Yeah,
eventually,
yeah,
but the effort you have to do that, I don't know.
yeah.
Because I
For
will
him,
say this.
for
I'm just
him.
going to say this, though, because I haven't been the biggest fan of Pavia, but I'm not going to be surprised if he goes out there and balls. I'm really not. And then guess what? I'm rooting for it. I want all six quarterbacks to ball out.
Yeah.
And we're already talking about a thin quarterback class. Dante Moore just announced he's coming back. But I mean, I want all the quarterbacks to ball. I want to see Cole Payton do good. I want to see Cole Payton, I mean, I think he, still going to be better at tight end. I hope they do some trickeration or something and have him catch a pass out the backfield or something, just so he can kind of show his athleticism. Just because I want to see him play the most, NFL football he can.
Hmm.
So, so that's what I'm thinking. It's where my mind's at there. So yeah, like I said, tight ends. Sam Roush is, like you said, another guy is gonna be good. Let's get into it. First, let's go. I don't know which list is first here. I think it's your list. Yeah, your list. So let's go ahead and talk about your list here of your tight ends. Three tight ends we want to go ahead and feature that you think are either going to have a big week or just have a lot to prove or can rise up some boards here.
Yeah, Gillenborg. Love this guy. I mean, I loved him in the preseason, but man, this offense didn't do him any favors at all. He had
Yeah,
freaking 24 catches this year. He didn't get no targets though. He was the best. I mean, he's the best receiver on the team, and he didn't get no targets. So, yeah, he's got a lot to prove this week, just showing how good he can be.
yeah,
He's got to show he has great. He's got to show he has good hands. He's got to show he can get open.
right.
NFL offense is going to be great for him, I think. But he's going to have to perform though. It ain't just like here you go, you're playing NFL offense now. He's got to show out. His
Yeah,
draft stock's definitely pretty low right now, I think, but he's got a good chance to raise it up. And then I've always been a fan of Sam Rouse, man, for 3 or 4 years. He just never had a good quarterback there at all. Never
yeah,
had good, never had any good weapons at Stanford the past 5 years. So he was by himself. But I mean, he put up 500 yards this year in that offense. That's almost like 1,000, especially for a tight end. So and being 260, I think he might be the best blocker.
hey, yeah. Two
In
sixty.
Mobile.
That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight. Two
Yeah,
sixty
exactly.
beat a tight end and out there moving around. 545 yards on the year.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
it's not a crazy amount, but a lot of two tight ends set at least Stanford runs, so they don't just use one tight end and bump his numbers up. They don't use him like a Kenyon Sadiq. They kind of spread the love at tight end. They always have. So yeah, I think that's a good pick right there. Yeah, definitely Sam Roush.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. Like I said, probably the best blocker, so it'd be cool to see him block, see how he can hold up against some of the best DNs in the draft. And then
Yeah,
Jolly also, I knew about him since UConn days. 4 productive seasons. I mean, 2,000 career receiving yards, a tight end. 500 a year, a tight end. It's really good in college. So he's probably the most athletic, I think, overall in this class. And I think he's a real sleeper. I don't know why he ain't getting much love, like second round love.
yeah. I think we're gonna see some guys. I don't know about shoot up, but maybe this be the position. I think you always have your positions that get drafted late. GMs with whether it be running back, whether it be edge rusher. You always see guys get drafted late, maybe an edge. But I do think there's a couple positions where it kind of rotates, where GMs they're really stingy with, and they're like, all right, we're just going to draft late on this position this year. I think tight end's one of those this year. I think
Yeah,
we're going to get a lot of late round talent there at tight end that end up showing out. And I think with the portal, that's just you're just going to have that. You're just going to have guys who've been in multiple systems, multiple coaches. It's kind of up to you to read between the lines and look at the film with a lot of these guys. Not really a stat thing. A lot of these guys is it sucks because tight end, I think, with the scouting and with the drafting, has this become a combine position? Has this become like a compression sport position? Meaning, like, we really we appreciate the offseason just as much, if not more, as we do the in season production with some of the tight ends. I think so.
I mean, tight ends are to be a really good one. It's hard, but to be average, they're pretty replaceable. If you got a guy
Yeah,
that go out there and catch a 3 yard out route or block, he can hold up in blocking. That's why you see some four tight ends on roster sometimes because
right.
there's a lot of those body types and guys that aren't too athletic but athletic enough. So
Good point.
I think that's the big thing about the tight ends. You don't get a lot of credit unless you get 1,000 yards. You get
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
800 yards to tight end. Nobody even talks about it. So I mean, it's a position you're playing. You're not playing for the shine. You're playing because you like to play, and I think you just if you're a tight end, you're a dog. Most 9 times out of 10, unless you're one of those like receiver tight ends.
Yeah, and then even if, like you say, even if you are a receiver tight end, you still got to run across the middle, which not a lot of people are doing
Yeah, true,
anymore.
true.
You got to be used to, getting short yardage situations, catching balls in traffic. We see a lot of tight end passes on 3rd and 4th and 1, right? I mean, high pressure situations are I think the running back, it was usually always the running back, 4th and 2, 4th and 1, running back, go and get it, go and take it. I think some of that pressure has been kind of split and handed off to the tight end a lot with new age. So
That's a good
I think
point.
if you don't have a clutch tight end these days, you're screwed. You're screwed. And a guy who can create space quick, short pass game. So I know we have George Kittle. That's why I like George Kittle a lot. George
Colson
Kittle
Loveland.
can run a whip. Yeah, Colson Loveland as well.
He's looking good, dude.
Yeah, yeah, he is, and I hate that because being a
Oh yeah,
Packers
no, he's on
fan,
double Eric's, but
but
he
I
freaking
like
good,
him.
y'all.
I like him. I like him. I can't hate it. I can't hate it. I like a good tight end, man. It's weird. It's just
I love tight.
it's so hard because when you're growing as a tight end, like because these are big dudes, like really big dudes. And we can go back to the size list. We have the 6'7", 6'5" dudes. When you're coming up like in the ranks, you can easily just become a lineman. You
Yeah.
know, you
Well,
can easily just say, "All right, we're putting 30 pounds on you, and you're becoming a lineman."
I
Or
mean,
okay, we're gonna take off 3 pounds. We're gonna take off 20, and you're gonna be a D end.
you can play a lot of different positions. You can play
Right.
running back. Someone could play running back if they, there's a couple of pounds. Someone could play receiver. Someone could play safety, linebacker, D end, offensive tackle. So yeah, you're right. I mean, they're very versatile.
Yeah, they are, and it's hard to when you're like, "All right, I'm going to be a tight end." It's a real awkward stage when you're growing, and you're like, "Okay, I'm 2 donuts away from being a lineman, and I'm really far away from being a wide receiver. I have to get quicker, bigger, faster, stronger." So it's just hard. Basically, in summation, it's freaking hard to be a good tight end. It's just hard because you have to be big and fast, and there's not too many positions that require that big and fast and have to catch the ball. So and
And,
block,
and block
and
it.
it's yeah, and block, and not be scared to get hit. So it's pretty and be a microwave. A lot of times, they might not go to you for a drive, and then they need you now. So, want to get into my list of my guys that might show out as well, who I'm looking at here. I'm glad you didn't pick any of these guys. I like Dan Villari here. I think Dan Villari is going to be because we all seen with their quarterback situation this year. It didn't really go as planned, and they're in Syracuse. So I think I get him some leeway on that, and it could be a big week for Villari. Hope I'm saying that right. But then we got Josh Cuevas. Then we got Tanner Koziel. What do you think about these guys?
I like these guys. Yeah, I definitely got questions about all of them. So I think it's a good list.
Okay. All right. So what as questions, with Cuevas, I think he's had dense production, right? He's had some big plays, but when you see the athletic traits, you see the athletic traits in the film, and I think he's going to make some big plays. But Tanner Colesville is my favorite here. Give me Tanner Colesville. I think he's going to have a really a big week. This guy is one of those guys that maybe could have played receiver, right? But he can't because he's freaking 6'7". So we got him at 6'7". I want to see who his actual measurements coming at. Is he going to come in at 6'6"? Are we just splitting hairs between 6'6" and 6'7"? Probably so. Who cares? So yeah, these three guys I think are going to be pretty solid this week, especially with Michael Trigg not showing up. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to show out. So Koziel 727 yards this year, 6 touchdowns. Shout out to him. And then we have Valari at 412 yards, and he did not make a trip to the end zone, unfortunately. So he's going to have to. He's going to have to, maybe he gets the game winner this year.
I
Maybe he
mean,
gets the game winning touchdown.
he only had freaking 2 good games with the quarterback.
Exactly. So that's why it's a mixture of guys I already like and guys who could show out because we just hasn't had an opportunity to. Valari fits that bill on the ladder because of their quarterback situation. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, Cozy. I got a lot of questions about his athleticism.
Mm.
I don't think he's very fast or or got great hips, but he's gonna have to prove me wrong.
Yeah, I think Josh Cuevas is going to have the biggest rise out of this group. I'm gonna go ahead and state it now. I think he's going to find himself making the most money here at the Senior Bowl. Maybe not the most as maybe being a first rounder, second rounder, but I think he's going to go from undrafted day 3 guy to I think he's going to solidify himself to day 2. No
I
question
like
about it.
that. I like that.
No question about it. And I think no question about it. He'll be a day 2 at the end of this whole shebang and the whole week. So that'll be fun. Can't wait. But yeah, man, tight ends and running backs. So we finally got the matchups, which is cool. And then after we're done, I think what we should do, we can kind of brainstorm live here. I think we should do a 2 deep of our 2 deep, our favorite 2 deep of the whole roster. We
Oh
think about
yeah,
that.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, just do our basically our top 2 or 3 guys at each position. I think that'd be cool. So yeah, man, the time is ticking here. Got the national championship. We have the Senior Bowl, like we said. So it's been pretty crazy. I don't think too many more players are going to be getting at it. The roster revealed today, so I think it's all set in stone. The ink is dry, and we're ready, man. We're ready. We're ready to go to Mobile. We're ready to stop. We got to talk about it before we be about it. But I can't wait. I'm pretty much having fun with both. What are you looking forward to, man? Anything's changing, like of what you're wanting to see? I mean, Mesidor, we might have to bring in a 7th quarterback because if Mesidor gets a hold of one, we might need an extra one.
Yeah, I'm worried about these quarterbacks in the game. I mean, I like the O line class here a lot, but man, the edges are just David Bailey's coming. Cassius Howell did drop out though. They got that.
Yes.
The lineman got
Yeah.
lucky there, but David Bailey's still there, real height. It's gonna be interesting to see how they hold up against these guys. They're so fast.
Yeah, this hurts me. Like when we found out Mimbu was dropping out last year, that hurt me when Mimbu
Devin
didn't
Moore
drop
dropped
out.
out too. That one sucks. Said being a Florida guy.
Yeah. Yeah, then Mike Green not playing in the game. But we got to see Mike Green practice, and we were like, all right, this dude's real. He's here.
Ran through that guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
got his
shout out Josh
butt.
Connerly. But
Oh, it's Connerly, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
I will say,
rough season.
I was never gonna say it, but I might as well say it. That interview I'll play it on the intro. The interview with Connerly, interviewing him. That's that day when he got bull rushed. And as an offensive lineman, I said, you know what? I walked up right up to him because nobody was interviewing him, and he was already viral by the time he was off the field. I walked up to him, man, and I said, dude, don't even freaking worry about it, dude. He wasn't, he knew it's football, but he's like, man, it's just another rep. But I was just like, dude, don't worry about that. And to see that he went first round after that, both of them went first round, big on big, first round on first round. So yeah, that was that day though. That was literally that was right after. So shout out Josh Connerly though, Oregon Duck, quack quack. Shout out to him. Shout out to him.
Shout out.
What are you thinking, Dalton? So we're gonna have Will Thomas on Monday. Out of the positions we haven't covered so far, what do you think that's gonna kind of stand out as a sleeper that you're kind of itching to cover?
Oh, the safety class, man. I think besides Caleb Downs, you got like safety 2 through 6 in this class. So I think besides the end, this is the
Hmm,
most stacked position, safety for sure.
like it,
It's
like
like,
it.
yeah.
And I think we're going to see. You think any guys are going to get some reps at like a new position that we're not expecting? I know that happens a lot with the line, but what about like this linebacker and nickel situation? Or do you think anybody in these linebackers are going to get tried out at nickel? At the next level or anything? Just off top of your head, I know we haven't covered them yet, but do you think anybody is going to be forced or in this roster that's going to have to make a position change to the next level?
See, I don't see any of the linebackers being not this year. being able to make the
Okay.
transition, looking at the roster. I mean, you could maybe have some safeties move to corner. I can see Kilgore playing corner a little bit. Um, Besides that, I mean, I think everybody's pretty set. I mean, of course, linemen can always move from tackle to guard, but
Right, right. It's definitely going to happen. A bunch of these guys too. So even when they did the roster reveal today, they didn't even separate them interior and tackles. So that just goes to tell you everybody on our
oh,
list internally ours are separated, but the one that they published today, yeah, they just put offensive line because yeah, pretty much going to show you everybody's going to be playing everywhere, especially with this year. You know, we got Parker Brailsford out there. Alabama's offensive line didn't play up to snuff this year. They added Jennings Dunker at
oh,
the
nice,
end.
nice.
Yeah, so do want to say shout gonna have to interview that guy. Shout to him. I love the way he plays the ball. Um, I think Alex Harkey's not too excited about that.
Trey
In my
Zune.
shout out, Trey Zune is gonna have such a damn good week. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm here for Trey Zune. All the arm linked haters, you're gonna look so stupid when Trey Zune's out there mauling dudes, winning all the one on ones. Yeah, he plays tackle right now, but guess what? He had reps at center this year. He had to fill in. He's going to be playing on the inside, next level. Trey Zune, can't wait till we talk the offensive line. But yeah, he's going to be one of the guys that's going to rise up a lot. I don't know about a first rounder rise like a Gray Zabel last year,
Hmm.
but he's going to have a big rise in my opinion. So yeah, can't wait, man. Can't wait. Got anything you want to add here for tight ends and running backs, Dalton? No, it's been a kind of a short stream, but kind of rolling through these previews here. We'll be right back on Friday, but anything you kind of want to touch back on these tight ends and running backs?
A couple of running backs we did. I mean, we didn't really mention Jam Miller. He didn't do much this year.
Yeah, good point.
He didn't do much this year.
No, he didn't. Yeah,
Like,
Alabama's bigger. Like I said, the offensive line was a big problem with them. Caden Proctor didn't play up to snuff, in my opinion. Jaden Roberts, Parker Brailsford, they played better than him, but their offensive line did not play as good, and that definitely affected Jam Miller and their rushing attack because that was the reason they got beat up. Anytime they got beat up was because it was a blatantly obvious that Alabama could not run the ball. Right? I mean, am I
yeah,
crazy?
no, they can't run this year for sure. That's why I got to see. Is it his fault or is it the line's fault? Because the line got three guys getting drafted, So I don't know who you blame it on yet. So we're gonna have to see.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see some guys, definitely show out. And like I said, I like your pick of Jamari Taylor. I think he's going to have a big week. But Le'Veon Moss, we haven't talked about Le'Veon
Yeah,
Moss. Uh,
he's
you know, came in pretty highly touted, 5'11", 210. You see these. I have the stats here. I mean, he didn't. I thought he was definitely going to be 1,000-yard rusher. I thought it was just not even a question this year. So that was very exciting. Very disappointing and very surprising to see. Him. To not do that this year. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, they just had a lot of backs, and then Marcel Reed ran a lot too. So they just had a lot of mouths to feed in the backfield. I think he still
Yeah,
averaged like. I mean, I think he still averaged at least 5 yards per carry.
yeah, yeah. I just and that's and it kind of he's one of the many examples this year, kind of like Ollie Gordon last year, where Ollie Gordon just didn't have a year that nobody thought. That's a different kind of example. But with Le'Veon Moss, I think he was a prime example of we're not going to see any more bell cows. Here in the future, the guy you think that's going to lead the team and go for 1,000 yards and carry him. Probably not. Probably just going to share the load and just come up clutch in big time situations.
Yeah, like I mean, that's what we talked about Jeremiah Love. He wasn't even bell cow.
Right.
Although they did, I mean, they had two NFL backs behind them. Not every team has three NFL backs anymore, especially with portal.
Right.
It's hard to have three NFL backs with the portal now.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah, I think. It's hard to have be three deep at any position. Any position, it's hard to be three deep. Any of them. Even offensive line. You pretty much have, especially at NFL level, and they're trying to
NFL,
trickle that
yeah.
down to college. They're trying to trickle that to college to save money. I mean, you're seeing more and more guys come in playing three of the five positions on the offensive line, and then like you said, safety, and you got to play. You just got to be versatile, especially if you're a high school recruit coming in. So it's crazy, man. I think the tight ends are going to be the biggest surprise, though. Am I crazy for thinking that?
I mean, no, it's probably the. I mean, it's probably the least like excited group. So I don't think it's crazy to say it'd be Most surprising. Somebody's got to jump off the page.
Yeah, somebody's got to. Or if they just go freaking
Well, a lot of
make them
guys.
block all week, and just use all the wideouts.
Well, they need to block more. I mean, most of these guys.
Let me look at the. I'm gonna look at the wide receivers before we head out of here. I mean, look at a couple of these wide receivers. I think that'll tell us maybe of what a couple of these will do. So on the American team, I pretty much just want to see where the big bodies are. So it looks like American team has Aaron Anderson, Lewis Bond, Barryon Brown, Kevin
Small,
Coleman,
small,
Malachi Fields,
big.
Ted Hurst, only guy that's big. Jacoby
Fields is.
Lane's pretty big, and then Brennan Thompson. Those last
Oh, Brent
four are
Thompson's
good.
small.
Yeah, those last four receivers though are pretty solid.
Malachi Fields is the biggest in the class, probably.
So it looks like national team.
What's Fields
I think
6'4"?
national team's got some big guys, man.
They got Cameron and Surratt.
Yeah, Caleb Douglas, Casey Concepcion, Colin Lacey, Elijah Surratt. That's a rigged few right there, in my opinion.
Good
I don't know
receivers.
about Colin Lacey. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch,
Not
but
good for Turner.
yeah, these receivers are going to be freaking awesome.
They always are nowadays, man. I feel like every
I wish
class.
these. Yeah, I wish the actual American national team rosters would have came out before we did our wide receiver matchups because that would have definitely got us some better, idea of some formations they might run. Because I was hoping, I, I don't know, Jacoby Lane and Barryon Brown and Malachi Fields, Ted Hurst, like all four vert situation right there. You're
Jacoby
screwed.
Lane. Oh yeah, from USC. Okay.
Yeah, Jacoby Lane.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking.
he's a big guy. He's
I
big.
got confused with Jalen Lane. I was like, Jalen Lane was there last year.
Yeah. Shout out Jalen Lane. I kind of thought I messed up too for a second. So,
Jalen Lane had a good year,
um,
good rookie year with the Commanders.
Commanders, man, I
They
thought they were going to be good this year, man.
Yeah, you did.
Bad. I know. I know. But that pretty much wraps it up here. Tight ends and running backs preview, Dalton. Hell of a class here. Like we said, it's only going to get better and better. And it gets even better than that once we finally get boots on the ground in Mobile, get to see these guys with our own eyes and practice all week and in the game. Then we will have Friday. So tune in Friday for our coverage for the national championship. We'll get our pick in. We'll get our full preview because this is it. I mean, this is the big shebang. It's hard to kind of put it in perspective. It's been a long buildup, with the extended playoff, with the time off. But here we are, folks. Miami, Indiana. Miami hasn't been to the promised land since BCS days. Indiana, never. So you haven't been missing much. If you've never seen an Indiana football game until last year, you have not missed a damn thing. You haven't missed nothing. I
I mean,
promise.
you miss Antoine Randall. Oh,
Oh gosh, that's so
come
crazy.
on, he was cool.
There's shout
He
out
was cool
Antoine
in
Randall
college. I
L.
mean, we didn't get to see him really, but it would have been cool. He was
No.
like the first real, runner.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart though, right? I mean,
I mean, he could throw.
shout out Cordell.
Well, couldn't throw. He could just run. That was cool. That's what was cool about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I got this quarterback on our prospect list that just have pure runner. He's the only one to have pure runner tag, and this dude takes off. He takes off. So can't wait
Yeah,
to show that.
he needs to go
Any
to-
recruits any recruits watching, send in your tapes. We're coming down to the last bit of the quarterback watch list. We are in the final 100 quarterback, actually like 98 quarterbacks left to get scouted. But if you still want to send in your tapes, you can, because there's chances I haven't seen the tape. If you're not on 247 Sports, you don't have to be on there, but we go on the quarterback hit list as well after we get done with the 247 list. But the 247 list is almost up. I haven't done a tally, but I think we're at like 300 quarterbacks right now before the Elite 11 regionals start kicking off, which me and Dalton are hoping to get back at, see which ones we can make for the Elite 11s. And as soon as we know, we will let you all know and see where we'll be at to get interviews and get highlights, just like we did last year, get a new set of new batch of guys to promote and try to help get recruited. You've seen the likes of Corey Daly. We've seen the likes of Jason Wright. We're going to see William Jackson, our guy, who we've covered just coming off his freshman year. He is now entering his senior year. So that's crazy to think. As long as Home Squad Sorts is, it's he is a pretty much his football career is home squad sports. That's pretty much it. That's it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? How long you been doing home squad sports since William Jackson's been playing high school ball?
that's true.
I mean, but I shout William Jackson. He's got offers from Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Arkansas. Who else did he have? A couple other guys as well. So the offers are going to keep on rolling in. He's been working out at a few schools. Before we let everyone go, Dalton, till Friday at noon for the national championship preview, you got anything you want to add here, man?
I think I'm good. I'm just ready to. I'm ready to get in Mobile, man.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm
Play
itching.
some
I'm
football.
ready. See, and if you found us through Draft Professors, me and Dalton, we did guest spots on Draft Professor all majority of the season. We haven't been on there because we haven't work on our stuff here, our high school stuff and our Senior Bowl stuff. But man, I know they've been doing draft all year, but it's like right now, that's when I get the itch to start getting my position rankings done. I'm like, all right, I really want to see. Now we got all the all 22 film. We got a freaking computer full of film. Let's go ahead and run it back. Let's see who is showing out. I'm seeing a lot of people, which is, I hate to be I told you so guy, but that's sports media pretty much. If you really want to keep it honest, it's pretty much a bunch of guys saying I told you so and predicting, right? I mean,
I mean, yeah,
uh, but people are pretty much coming off the Spencer Fano. I've seen some guys put Spencer Fano, Caleb Lomu over him in their offensive line rankings.
Momo's better.
So yes, he is, and
So
that's giving me, that's making me, because I was looking back at my notes for both of them for Draft Professor, and I was like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. Fano's good. He's just lazy.
yeah,
He's lazy, dude. He doesn't even get in the football. I
I don't
swear he
like.
doesn't get in the,
I
he
don't,
doesn't get in a stance half the time.
I
It's
don't
not
like.
even like an actual stance.
I don't
It's
like that.
not.
I don't like that.
And the competition comes into play, but Lomu, it doesn't even look like they play for like. It doesn't even look like they're playing the same team because he's just going so much harder. So, any guys that's been showing out in your scouting on your big board that you're like, all right, cool. I can't wait to promote this guy through the draft process.
I mean, see, my big board. I'm waiting until after Senior Bowl for it to really be finished.
I feel
You
that.
know, but
Right. I
I'm
don't see
excited
the
to watch.
need of. I don't. Go ahead. Go ahead. No,
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
excited to watch some guys there. You know, me being a DB guy, I'm really excited to watch these DBs that a lot of people don't know about. Like Justice Smith from
Okay.
Arizona, dude, absolutely dog at safety. I'm excited to see the safeties and corners. They're not getting no love, and they never do really. It's like they only, corners. Nobody's been the shutdown corner since Revis. Really, he had good corners in the league, like Sertain and guys like that. But there ain't no true like lockdown like Revis, and it's been a while. So I'm looking for the next guy. Always looking for the next guy.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Shout out to our boy Jay Evans. Patrick Sartani loves him. Uh, yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, a lot of guys, and I don't like. I was before I rudely interrupted you. It popped in my brain. That's the only reason I do that because I don't want to forget it. But uh, I don't see the point of making a big board in July and then just constantly erase that guy, erase that guy. All right, erase that guy. I mean, we're not going to forget what we see. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
We're not going to forget what we see during the season.
Uh-uh.
And if we do, we got all 22 film. So it's like I will come to the same conclusion making one big board and revising it 3 times as opposed to making one big board and 6 months ago and messing and screwing with it all year. And then you're
Yeah,
contemplating, you're like, all right, was I being a dumbass or am I just second guessing myself and I'm going to keep this guy where he's at? So I don't know. We got our own, all have our own theory, all of our own expertise. That's why I love this whole thing that we do. And everyone that does it has their own, stuff they focus on. So I just now moved to new position. So I can't wait to look at tight end film 2027. Can't wait. So it's gonna be cool. All right, man. So that pretty much does it. Tight ends and running backs, people. American team, national teams filled out completely. If you want to get a full list of the teams, you can go to the Senior Bowl page, or you can just wait here because we were going to preview every single player, every single team until we head to Mobile. Like Dalton said, I'm going to echo what he said. He's ready to get down to Mobile, and I'm ready to get down to talk to some people today about some office space so we can do a show down there today. So we will have live shows in Mobile. So don't worry,
yes,
we'll keep
sir.
you tapped. Until then, catch us on Friday at noon, National Championship preview. It's coming to an end, and it's starting right back up. So we'll keep you locked. But until then, people, y'all have a good one, and we will see you Friday at noon.
Yep. See y'all then.
Peace. Sports here with Josh Connolly, wrapping up day 2 of practice. How'd you think it went, man?
I think it was an okay day. Definitely, I feel like it was a lot better than the team. One of the ones that was a little bit ups and downs, you know what I mean? But as long as you just keep going and keep fighting, you know, just playing ball at the end of the day.
And they seen you, got you some reps at tackle and guard. You know, it looks like you're pretty comfortable at both. What's the biggest thing you're wanting to really prove this week to the scouts?
Really, I'm versatile, and I can do whatever's asked.
All right, and then before we get you out here, man, is anybody you kind of want to give a shout-out back home that's kind of been with you throughout the whole way?
Shout out my parents, man. Shout out my siblings. You know, they always believed in me and gave me a lot of hope, and that's what I do it for.
All right, man. Well, excited to see you wrap up here day 2, and we'll see you.
Coach McChesney down here at 6-0 Football Academy. The 5 a.m. just got done. It was a hardcore morning. I was on everybody's ass, and it was pretty much all the veterans in here this morning, with the exception of one. And it was very competitive and extremely up-tempo. And the group separated. The leaders went to the front and were very vocal. The followers went to the back and put their eyes on the ground. There's a lot of separation that happens in days like this, which is why we do it. The perfect 10's at the end. Every rep counts. If you false start, we start over. If you don't finish, we start over. Everybody's accountable. It's not just on the individual. We have to come together. So we're looking for leaders. College football players are looking for men. They're not looking for sheep. So we're pushing people in here hard because we're accountable at 6-0 to the development of college football players, not the progression of high school football players. Everybody in here has college football dreams. You're already in high school. You need to start acting like you're at the next level when you're at the level you're at. If you're a good high school player, act like you're supposed to be in college already. If you're a good college player, act like you're supposed to be in the NFL already. Stop conning yourself. You have to decide if you're going to work. You have to decide if you're going to strain. You have to decide if you're going to sacrifice. You have to decide if you're going to get out of bed. You have to decide if you actually want to do this shit or if you just want to play football. There's a lot of dress-up artists. This isn't Madden. This isn't create a player.